Good morning, great Americans. It's another great American video from the bunker in Kentucky. This is a quick message, but it's very important before the election. So, there's a lot of talk going on about Biden is senile, which he is. Trump is mean, which he's not. Kamala Harris is a moron and an imbecile, which she is. And that's all very interesting. And maybe it's even important a little bit. I mean, I don't think, but I'll tell you what's more important. I'll tell you what's most important, and it's time for Americans to give up, to stop focusing on that kind of crap and start focusing on what's important, and that is policy. Policy. Okay, we get all wrapped up in personality, and we forget that what makes us do well or makes us do bad, what makes us weak or strong, what makes us rich or poor, what enables Americans to have opportunity and jobs and what doesn't is policy, economic policy, tax policy, foreign policy, immigration policy, national security policies. Need I go on? Policies are what matter. All the back and forth and the political jabs and oh, she put people in jail. Oh, he cheated on his wife. These are all distractions. Okay, what's important is policy. What policies will make sure that your kids get a good education? Will make sure that there are jobs available for you to support your family? What policies will protect America from terrorism and foreign powers that don't like us? Policies are what matter. And if you are an honest, intelligent person, if you're really honest, a lot of people are not honest these days. And you can't get any information from CNN and MSNBC. They have gone into 110% propaganda, fake news mode. They're just, you can't even watch them anymore. You can't even watch them. Okay. So if you're an honest, intelligent person, you have to say to yourself that the Democrat policies have failed and made us dangerous. Trump, Google this now, right before COVID hit, NPR, which is no friend of the Republicans for sure, National Public Radio and PBS News had reported that Trump had gotten us the lowest unemployment level since John F. Kennedy, like 50 years. The lowest unemployment in 50 years. The lowest Black unemployment ever recorded. The lowest Latino and Hispanic unemployment ever recorded. He got rid of NAFTA and he got new trade agreements. The economy was booming. Unfortunately, COVID's a whole other story. That's not part of this video. The point is, policies matter. Trump's tweets and the things he says had nothing to do with the important policies that made America's economy boom under Trump, which helped him craft new trade agreements, which helped him build up the military. He got rid of ISIS as a land force. He seemed to forget about that. He negotiated the Abraham Accord. We had peace in the Middle East under Trump. So these are policies. So what about, let's take a very popular one right now, immigration. And let's call that immigration policy. What is the Democrats' immigration policy? They don't have any. They have thrown the borders wide open, and we are being inundated with people illegally sneaking into this country illegally. That's why they're called illegal aliens. That's a legal term, which is true. An alien in law is a non-citizen. So you have American citizens and you have aliens. So people who are here on visas and work visas and passports, they are legal aliens. That's a legal term. If you sneaked into this country illegally, you are an illegal alien. You see how Democrats hate, they hate language that tells the truth, and they say, we're never going to say illegal aliens. Why? That's a legal term. But anyway, so Democrat policy is just to throw the borders wide open and let illegal aliens sneak in illegally. That's not a policy. That's lawlessness. That's chaos. That's anarchy. Trump's policy is to secure the border, deport people who are in this country illegally. We call that law enforcement. That's called enforcing the law. Deport people who are here illegally. But we do welcome people to come in as long as they come in legally. So enforce the border and enforce immigration law. That's Trump's policy. Biden's immigration policy is just wide open borders and let everyone who comes into Mexico from around the world come up and just lawless chaos. Now, you tell me, you take away the personalities for a minute. Take Trump out of the picture and take Kamala Harris out of the picture and just go with party policy. Which policy makes more sense? Which policy is better for America? Lawless, just wide open chaos? Or a secure border where people enter legally, but they're not allowed to enter illegally? You see, when you see things in terms of policy and you remove the personality, it always goes the Republican way. It always goes the Republican way. Okay? So, let's talk about taxes. It's just a fact that when you lower tax rates to the optimum level, it increases, it booms the economy, which creates more jobs. Democrats just want to raise taxes. They never even consider cutting spending. Do you realize how many billions of dollars of waste we spend? Not only do we spend the money on stuff we're not supposed to be spending it on, we also spend redundant double and triplicate and quadruple amounts of money on redundant things where you got multiple agencies doing the same thing. Democrats, you will never hear one Democrat call for an independent study to root out waste and fraud. They would just rather raise your taxes and pay for the waste and fraud. Now, what sort of nonsense is that? Trump wants to lower your taxes to the optimum rate and cut spending. And now I will be honest here, Trump did not cut as much spending as I'd like him to cut in his last term, but he was busy dealing with stuff, right? He had to rebuild the military because Obama destroyed it. Oh, that's a whole other story. Anyway, policy. Now, recently, Trump has even discussed possibly going to a consumption tax and just doing away with the income tax. That would be so awesome. I'll have to do another video on that, but trust me when I tell you, we would boom like an economy like you have never seen if we were to eliminate the income tax and eliminate the IRS. And then you just pay a little tax every time you buy something, and that's it. We survived as a country in the 1700s and the 1800s and the early 1900s without an income tax. We could survive now without an income tax. Wouldn't you like to be done with the IRS? Wouldn't you like to not have to fill out tax forms every April 15th? Wouldn't you like to no more see those deductions on your paycheck? You actually get your paycheck? Yes, that's a great idea. So again, that's tax policy. So I've gone over immigration policy and tax policy. What about foreign policy? Trump wants to negotiate a peace in Ukraine. Biden wants war. These people are warmongers. And by the way, Ukraine is not a nice democracy. It is not a nice country at all. Why do we have bio weapons labs in the Ukraine? Why is the Ukraine a big player in child trafficking? Why does pedophile Biden want to cover up for the Ukraine? Why did pedophile Biden threaten the Ukraine when he was vice president so that his kid, the felon Hunter, boy, we forgot all about that felony pretty quick, didn't we? His kid, the felon Hunter, got slush money from the Ukraine that he passed on to the big guy, Biden. We seem to forget all about this. We have no business in the Ukraine. Listen, the Russians had no business in Cuba right off of our border, and we have no business in the Ukraine right on their border. Okay, it works both ways. Biden is going to, we will be lucky if Biden does not fumble and bumble our way into World War III and a nuclear war, because he is that stupid and he is that incompetent. He doesn't know how to deal with the Russians. So Trump wants to negotiate peace. So again, I ask you, you take away the personalities, what is a better policy? A negotiated peace or war, more foreign wars where we don't belong? See, every time you look at the policies, the Republican is the way to vote. So I ask you, stop talking about Trump and he cheated on his wife and I don't really care about camel toe and whether she gave blowjobs to Willie Brown in San Francisco. I really don't care about any of that. I care about policy, because policy is what makes things happen, good or bad. Policy is what makes the economy great or bad. Policy is what makes our national security good or bad. And every time you analyze policy, tax policy, economic policy, foreign policy, the Republican positions are always correct. So let us use our brains when we vote this November, or if you're voting early. Use your brains. Forget about the personality. Analyze the policy. Oh, and one other thing, very important, I forgot to mention. Please be honest and prioritize policies, right? So, for example, I saw an article recently that says, well, how's Trump going to be on LGBTQ issues? Frankly, I don't give a shit. And nobody else does. I don't give a shit about, right now, I care about wars, the economy, jobs, these things that affect all Americans and children and families. I don't give a shit about LGBTQ issues. Now, if you don't give a shit about them, that's fine. But if you are an honest, intelligent person, if you think you're an honest, intelligent person, then you're going to prioritize these issues. And you're going to say, well, what's really better for America? And remember what John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. The Democrats have forgotten all about that. They talk about John F. Kennedy, but they don't give a crap about Kennedy. They won't even give Kennedy. Kennedy had to go to his nephew had to go to a third party to be able to run. That's a whole other story. But anyway, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. So when you prioritize these policies, be honest and say, what's more important? Our economy and jobs and our national security, or LGBTQ pronouns? Please. Let's be honest, okay? What is more important? Now, frankly, Trump is not bad on those issues, but if you don't like Trump's position on those issues, that's fine. But are you really going to sacrifice this nation, our economy, our security, so that you can do your LGBTQ thing or whatever the fuck it is? Is that really what kind of person you are? You're gonna fuck everybody across America so that you can get your wee-wee cut off and call yourself a girl? Really? Really? It's time to man up and stand up, pull your head out of your fucking ass, and start dealing with what's important. The economy, jobs, inflation, national security, and the border. And on every policy, the Republican policy is correct and is going to help America. And on every issue, the Democrat policy for the last 4 years has just destroyed it all. That's the bottom line. And that's how you need to vote. That's why you need to vote. I won't even say Trump's name. How about that? That's why you need to vote Republican up and down the ticket, 2024. Okay, you gave Biden a chance, he failed. The Democrats have failed. Their policies are not even any longer the policies of the Democrat Party of 20 or 30 years ago. I hate Bill Clinton, but really, in comparison, Bill Clinton's policies were far better than Biden's, because he was not the extremist Marxist socialist that the Biden administration is and that the Democrat Party has become. The Democrat Party of John F. Kennedy and Harry Truman does not exist anymore. It is a Marxist, socialist, extremist, anti-American, anti-Semitic party which resembles Nazism more than anything else. And you just can't vote for that, man. Their policies are destroying this nation. You must vote. So I ask you, put policy over personality and vote Republican 2024. So everybody, have a good week, have a good weekend, and I will see you in the next great American video. Adios, muchachos.